Hello, how do I find stocks with consistent growth? Well, you are going to analyze the stocks. When you come across the stocks and you put it through your filters and it passes your filters, you are going to analyze the stock. So for instance, when we take NTRS, you will go to maximum monthly chart. Let's first put it in here. And we have maximum daily chart open, but we'll go to maximum monthly chart and look at it. So by looking at the stocks chart on a maximum level, more precisely maximum monthly, it will allow those uh, details to be reduced so that um, you can have a better picture of the chart pattern, the stock chart trend, if that makes sense. So in this, today is February 8th, 2026. We have the date on the x-axis from the past to the present on the chart, and we have the price on the y-axis from $0 up. So when you open monthly chart, and more precisely maximum monthly chart, the platform that you are using to do the analysis will show you multiple years. We are using just swap think or swim platform here, and by having this you will be able to compare the beginning of the chart to now to see if you have, and if you want to connect both with an oblique line, a straight oblique line, will that be upward tilted? If the answer is yes, then you have growth there. So what I like to look for, since I use long option long swing trading strategy, I like to see growth at the valley and growth at the top of the mountain, and I'm using those swings of the chart as tip of the mountain and valley because it's creating mountains or chain of mountains. So when you have a mountain, you have the tip, the top, you'll have the valley at the bottom as well. So I want to buy at the valley and sell it at the top of the mountain, like around those ranges. So therefore, I want, and I'm using long uptrend line. So I'm going to trace an uptrend line passing by the bottom of the chart, and I want that trend line to be uptrending. So when we take this, for instance, we have this line here that we can adjust a little bit and move it down, but it's passing by this and going there, and to be able to touch most point could be why it was a little bit higher. So by looking at it this way, we can even try to trace another line from here as well. It will pass by this area. So those two are not too far from each other, and when there is a dip, it could touch base with it. But by looking at it, the line is upward. The value line is upward trending. It has higher lows. So trying to connecting those lows when the present lows are higher than the past low, we like to say higher lows. This low is higher than this one, and so forth. Or if we take it here, this low is higher than this one, which is higher than this one. So when you're trying to connect those, it will be uptrending. So I like to have a growth at the valley and a growth at the top. So I will trace multiple valley lines to see which one I found it possible to be the one. Sometimes it could be more than one. It could be two, it could be three, it could be one. Every stock is different. And here I found this one to be the one. It seems to respect that line quite a bit over the years. So therefore, it is the valley line, and this valley line is uptrending. So there is growth there. So now I'm going to see if there is a growth at the top of the mountain. So that means when it's reaching all-time highest price, is the mountain getting taller and taller every time. So when we are seeing an all-time highest price here, it's higher than this, which is higher than this, which is higher than this, and this one is the tallest one between those two. So it took a while before it was able, somewhere here, before it was able to exceed this peak here. And after that, it has been, getting better. So there is a growth at the top as well. There are some stocks that, yes, they will have higher mountain, but it will be just a little bit, like this one for instance will be just a little bit above this one, and this one will be just like a little bit above the previous one, and so forth. For those stocks, I feel like there is not much growth at the top of the mountain, when sometimes they might have growth at the valley, but they won't have growth at the top of the mountain. I want to see growth on both sides. That is how I will say that company stocks has consistent growth. So I will put those stocks when I come across them or I download them using a stock screener. I will put them through some filters that I just wrote down myself to eliminate some stocks out of the list. And today I just updated this filter. I was more curious about those entity names. I did a Google search on, AI search on it to see if those companies, to see if their partnership and if Schedule K1 is expected from them. But it turned out that no, they don't send Schedule K1. They are now considered like L.L.Cs, US L.L.Cs type of companies. They are international companies. So therefore today I put asterisk on this one because those are companies that I tend to avoid, but I made it optional. And I'm going to pull those large cap stocks again and try to leave them in there and run my filter, analyze them to see if I can find some stocks with those denominations that will have passed all 6 filters, and now it'll be 5 filters if I take this out of it. But I'm still hesitant about foreign companies that are labeled limited companies. But again, when you do search on each one of those companies, when you come across it, whether you should eliminate it or not, you should be able to find out if they send out Schedule K1 or not. If they pass those their profit and loss, if they are pass-through entities or not. But again, when I'm pulling those stocks and I want to analyze them to create a watch list of stocks, I don't want to spend a time on each one of them trying to figure out those things. So therefore I have those filters that I just eliminate them when I read the denomination at the end of the company's name, the entity type. But yeah, so pretty much when I pull the stocks and I'm using those filters to pretty much pull out what I don't want. I think I lost the train of my thought, but yeah, I will do those maximum monthly chart analysis to be able to see if those stocks can be can remain on the watch list. And some of them downward or level, I'll take them out, and I like to keep growth and dip or upward. But yeah, so is more the maximum monthly analysis that will help you to determine if those stocks are consistent growth, and that is the way I try to judge them. And I just try to put down in writing um what that you know what that when I'm thinking about it, how I can express it. So higher lows at the valley and higher highs at the peak. So those are what I consider consistent growth. Now all stocks on my watch list meet that requirements, but that's what I'm looking for, and I can use that as a benchmark to compare other stocks to, because some stocks will have very good growth and some will have slow growth, and I tend to have two lists this year. One of those slow growth that are considered to be more like investment type, because you hold on to them for years, they are growing slowly, and some of them that have good growth in them. And by good growth, what I'm looking for is, for instance, these stocks, this peak here, and this valley here, it took 2 years to come back down to the valley. For me, a good growth, I want to see that done within a year. And then from here to reach all-time highest price here is within a year and a half. So that is good, but it's not done. So I'm going to come back and use this cycle here. This cycle started somewhere here. In fact, it started here all the way to here, and then it came back down. So we have this, when it touch base with the valley line and touch base with a here, I like to consider that as the cycle, because it reached all-time highest price within it, somewhere here, and continue, and then came back down. So you can see there is so many years between it, and even this one, it didn't even reach all-time highest price much here. So I will say that the cycle began here and ended here, because it didn't reach all-time highest price until somewhere here, and then continue and came back down here. So one cycle that lasted this long is now really a good growth for me. So because I want to buy it at the valley line and I want to sell it at the peak, so therefore all-time highest price is by default an exit landmark for me, and the valley line, the uptrend trace at the valley line is determining where I want to buy. So I like to compare the stocks within the range. And so if it took so many years, those dotted line are years, for that to reach all-time highest price, is it going to continue doing that? So now when it came back down here, we have a cycle here. So if we are considering that this cycle is going to be what it's going to be doing now, from here to here, it took 2 years from the valley line to be done with the peak. It took 2 years to climb up, it took 2 years to come down. So if it's going to be doing that, so from here to there is 2 years as well. This is 2024, 2025, 2026. So we have 2024 in it, 2025 in it here. So 2 years to go up, and maybe it might take 2 years to come down. Because it did this in 2 years, it could well be down, growing up. It may not go up much, and might decide to come down if it's going to repeat this cycle here. So 2 years to go up is fine. I'll prefer it goes down within a year and then start doing it again. That way I know that for stocks that take about 2 years to go up, when you buy around the valley, you can hold on to it for about a year and a half and then sell it and wait for that within a year to come back down and you can buy it again. That's what I call consistent growth type of stocks, and that is what I'm looking for. But not all stocks have that meet that criteria. Therefore, I don't want to have a small list of those stocks. So I can consider the one that it takes a lot more time to come down or to go up or things like that. Going up is fine if they are taking years to go up, as long as they are going up even taller. But going down, I don't want them to take too long to go down. So, but that is what I'm looking for in stocks that I can call a consistent growth that I want to swing through it. About 2 years from the valley to the top of the mountain and be done with it. About a year to come back down and again repeat that. Having that for the cycle is what I like in stocks, and some of them made that, some of them don't, but they still have their own speed of growth as well. So therefore, by default, I want to see growth at the valley and growth at the top of the mountain. But by preference, in addition to that, I like to see them from the valley to the top of the mountain to be relatively within 2 years, and to come back down to the valley and end that cycle to be within a year. Based on long swing trading strategy that I use, that is what I like to consider a consistent growth type of stocks that I like to swing trade. But because not all of them met that criteria, the second criteria, the first criteria, I still hold on to that. I want to see growth at the valley and growth at the top. Thank you so much for watching. When we are looking at NTRS though, we'll go back to maximum daily chart. We will not buy it now because it's closer to the top of the mountain than it is to the valley. So therefore, it could be a time to sell it if it was in my portfolio. Again, because it has been on this journey for about 2 years, and the previous one it did it in 2 years as well. But since it's not in my portfolio, it's not a time for me to buy. I want to buy it at the valley line. So thank you so much for watching our videos. We thank you for your time. Thank you very much for subscribing to our channel. I'm Afiavi Liberman, creator of Liberman Consulting L.L.C YouTube channel, and in asop.com, our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways to save money and different ways to make money to reach your financial independence, where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. And swing trading is one way to generate a stream of income, just as slow, and grow your account from there. For more videos in this series, please check the playlist How to Start Swing Trading Step by Step using long uptrend lines. And we do have other swing trading related playlists in the description of this video as well. Thank you. Happy swing trading.